Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are cupcakes, but we're going to make chocolate cupcakes. And we're going to make a lot of cupcakes. I don't know if you've had, and I'm sure maybe you have had this happen to you. You know, your child will come home or remind you at 9 o'clock at night that they've got to have 30 or 36 cupcakes for school the next day. Well, I have this recipe that I set aside and kept it, well, for years when mine were young. And it's a great recipe. It's a large recipe, so this is really good for not just when your kids spring on you that you got to have, you know, X amount of cupcakes, but it's great if you're making cupcakes for a birthday party or a bridal shower or a baby shower or even a wedding for that matter. And it's going to make 48 cupcakes out of it. And if you don't want to do the cupcakes, you can get two 13 by 9 out of this recipe. So in case you want to make 13 by 9 cakes, you'll get 2 of them. And then also that's a nice size for parties, gathering, holiday cakes, that kind of thing. So let's get started. I want to tell you right off the bat, and I'm sorry about that, but I no longer put the recipe below the video, and I'll explain later on. So if you want to jot down the recipe as I go along, hopefully I'll go slowly enough, clearly enough, that you can get that. I'm also going to give you a heads up when I turn my mixer on because it can be loud on your end, so that way you have a chance to turn it down or take off your headphones, whatever the case may be. Okay, so but let's get started. First up, to make these 48 delicious chocolate cupcakes, you're going to need 2 cups of margarine or butter. What I like about this recipe is, because I've made it for a very long time, is that I actually prefer to use margarine over butter for this one. But if you prefer butter, please go ahead and use it. But if you've got margarine, or it's, you know, cheaper to buy than butter, well, try it. I think you'd like it. I think you'll love them both ways, butter or margarine. But anyway, 2 cups of margarine. Okay, I cut it up into small pieces, as you can see, because it's quicker and faster to cream it and break it up and that kind of thing. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to give you a heads up about turning on the mixer for the sound. The next thing that we're going to beat in is granulated sugar, and you will need 3½ cups of granulated sugar. Okay, I'm going to just put a little in at a time till I can beat it, bring it all together very smoothly, but you'll want it kind of creamy and fluffy and light. So spend time doing it. I'm going to move it along due to the video. You know, it might take you 3 minutes. It might take you 4 minutes. It really depends. Also, you could make this recipe with your hand mixer, but because of the amount, I really think you'd be a whole lot better off if you use a stand mixer if you have it. If not, you can use your hand mixer, but get a very large mixing bowl. So let's start putting this in and then warn you about the sound. Now I'm going to turn it up just to beat it faster and to move it along. Not that you're necessarily going to beat at this high speed. Okay, and remember, I warned you about the sound. And now I'm just cleaning the sides because it tends to stick to the sides and at the bottom, so I want to make sure. And then I'm just going to turn it on just for a few more seconds here. Okay, now once that you combine that and it's quite beaten nice and it looks light and fluffy and yellow in color, okay, let's add our eggs. Now I've had my eggs at room temperature. You will need 6 of them, okay, and I'm going to try to beat one in at a time as we go along. Yeah, 2 just fell in. Going to raise my speed just a little bit to move it along due to the video. But again, spend some time beating those eggs in, again, for really light and fluffy. Okay, and again, once again, I probably wouldn't be using that that speed, a little bit lower, but I'm always trying to move it along for the video so that I don't keep you watching too long. Okay, all right. Now the next thing we're going to put in is vanilla. So 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And spend a minute or so, or a couple minutes, till you really know now everything is well combined, it's light and it's fluffy, okay? Now, let's get our dry ingredients in there, okay? And I'm just going to use my little whisk here. You're going to be using 5 cups of all-purpose flour, and I just realized I forgot something. Most important thing is my milk, but let's go back a little bit. 5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to put 12 tablespoons of unsweetened baking cocoa. Again, this isn't you know, the sweetened one that you make hot chocolate out of. This is unsweetened baking cocoa, and that was 12 tablespoons. 12 tablespoons. And then I'm just giving it a quick stir. It doesn't have to be perfect or that type of thing. The next thing we're going to be putting in is baking soda, and that's 3 teaspoons of baking soda. And I'll give that a stir. I'm also going to be putting in salt. And I believe, yes it is, it's 2 teaspoons of salt. And just another little stir here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be combining the dry with the wet, but we're also going to alternate it with milk. So you're going to need 3 cups of milk, and we're going to alternate it just a little at a time. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of dry in. And then a little of the milk. And so on and so forth. Now you want to mix it at a lower speed because you don't want to have, you know, this flour all over your kitchen and all over you. So just keep alternating. raise my speed a little bit. Now that I'm getting that batter formed, I'm going to put the rest of the dry in. And the milk. Okay. And now I'm just going to raise my speed a little bit till it's all combined. Now again, I generally don't beat it that high of a speed, rather, I'm sorry. I misspoke there. And again, I'm just checking those sides and that bottom again, because I worry that it tends to stick there. And I'm just gonna beat it for a few more minutes. And then I like to, if I know that I'm going to go to the highest speed, I just put my clean kitchen towel over it. Spend time beating it. It might take you 4 minutes. It might take you 3. It really depends on the speed, your mixer, whether it's a hand, whether it's a stand mixer, that kind of thing. You don't want to overbeat your batters either, because I think that's how they get tough. And then I'm just going to try to take off my excess. I hate to waste product because prices are so expensive right now for eggs and milk and the essentials that, you know, you don't want to waste. You don't want to waste anything. And I just wanted to rinse my hands there. And again, I'm just going to give it a good spin here to make sure that I didn't miss anything on the sides or on the bottom. If you do feel that it's not silky enough, it's not smooth enough, then, you know, put it back on and put your paddle back on and do a little bit more mixing. And this is what the batter will look like. It's very silky, very smooth. Oh, has that great chocolate smell to it. This is another one that when it's baking in the oven, oh, the whole kitchen smells so good. Okay. All right, so we've got the batter made. And I'm just gonna set that aside here to get my pan ready. And we'll just push that mixer out of the way. And this is 24. This tray holds 24. If you have the 12, then you're going to, be able to do. When I have 2 of them going, I can do 2 trays and get the 1 recipe done, but I still really prefer just to do either the 2 small 12 cupcake tins, and or my one now that's 24 at a time. I know that you can rotate and the top to the bottom, but I really prefer to bake my 24 just once in the oven, and then I'll bake the second in the oven. But that's going to be up to you whether or not you want to bake them all in the oven and rotate them. Okay. And I'm not going to bore you because everybody knows how to fill a liner, but I'm using a scoop, and I would fill them about 2/3 of the way up, that kind of thing. I like the scoop because I can be kind of heavy-handed, and that way it kind of gives me a better idea on filling them. Whoops. Okay, even that needs just a little bit more, but you get the idea. I'm not going to bore you with that. But again, like I said, this is a great recipe when you're looking for a lot of cupcakes, 48 cupcakes, or the two 13 by 9 cakes. And you're going to bake them at 350 degrees. And they're going to take you anywhere from 28 minutes to about 32 minutes. You know, our oven's set up so differently, so it might not be, you know, it might fall on the low end and it might go on to the high end. You know your ovens and that kind of thing, but you don't want to over bake them because you don't want to dry them out. But I really start checking mine at about 26 minutes with a cake tester or a toothpick or that kind of thing. When the cake, you know, as we know, when we touch the top, if it springs back, the toothpick is clean, or the cake tester, it's done. And then put them on a cooling rack, and then of course put whatever type of frosting or icing or that you prefer. I'm going to wash my hands quickly because I've been working with raw cake batter. So I just want to wash my hands here, grab my clean towel, and I'm just going to show you some of them, and this is how they turn out. There'll be a beautiful chocolate brown. It will have a firm top to it, and let's cut into one just to show you the texture of the cupcake, or the crumb of it. And I hope you can see it. These are just delicious because they're so moist. Here, let me get these cupcakes. Move them out of the way here. And I don't know if you can see the crumb, how light it is. And then when I press on it, how it comes right back. Oh, these are so light. They're not dense or heavy at all. They are just delicious. And you know, they're so good. They taste good just on their own, or just put a little powdered sugar on the top, or put your favorite glaze, maybe a vanilla glaze or a chocolate glaze on them, because they are such great tasting, moist and soft cupcakes. They really are great. And like I said, if you need larger cakes, it'll give you two 13 by 9s. So there you have it. We've got a recipe for 48 cupcakes, or two 13 by 9 cakes for whatever special occasion you might have coming up. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake. And if you try this recipe and you like it, well, I'd love to hear from you. So please write to me. I will answer you and do my very best to answer in a timely fashion. And this is where I want to explain why I don't put the recipes on anymore. And I'm not alone on this, that's for sure. But I became very frustrated when I saw my work being posted and pinned, and people claim it as their videos, and people have written to me and I can't answer them because it's not the site of YouTube where I put my videos on. So please solely watch me, because that's the only place I put my videos on, our YouTube. And I will answer you. I promise you that. I want to thank you for watching. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe to the channel, boy, I can't thank you enough. Or ring the bell. So, once again, it bears repeating. Many thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.